Did you say data center? Are you sure? No? Well, fuck you. We're putting one up anyway in Fort Wayne, Oklahoma. Go screw yourself. That's essentially what the entire council of that particular region of Oklahoma is saying to the residents who are actively campaigning against putting I think it was 280-acre data center, which would be one of the largest in the, if not the largest in the United States to this point, data center. Which, I mean, like, why do we keep doing this? It's like one every month at this point has been popping up. By the end of the year, we'll be at a steady record of at least one a month. It is insane how many data centers were popping up just in rural areas too. They're like where people are, of course, but like where small locations of people are, so where it won't affect them because they're rural country, you know. But I'm getting off topic. Point being, there was a lot of people that were protesting this data center being initiated in the Fort Wayne area. um or sorry, it's I keep saying in Fort Wayne, it's in Claremore. It's in Claremore, Oklahoma. Claremore, Oklahoma. So this data center that's being built in Claremore, Oklahoma. There's a lot of people that have been actively protesting over the last couple of weeks to try to get this stopped because they don't want it in their community. There's been tons of research that shows that AI data centers do way more harm than good to the communities that they end up taking over. In fact, a lot of them end up suffering financially. It's not a lot of jobs that get brought. In fact, it's very minimal jobs that end up getting brought into the infrastructure as a part of AI data centers. A lot of utilities and resources get used to the point where people have to start importing from other places, or they have to pay exuberant rates from these facilities that are trying to upcharge the shit out of the average consumer. And on top of that, the quality of the environment goes down 100%. You can look at like North Carolina for a huge example where AI data centers were starting to be built firsthand, or sorry, for like the first beginning of like this AI data center takeover, and like their air quality in, in certain regions has just plummeted because of how bad AI data centers are just pumping out greenhouse gases and what. And it's just it's a terrible thing. Nobody wants AI data centers built in their community. And a bunch of people went to voice their opinion one night at a town hall meeting for Claremore, Oklahoma. One dude in specific talked about his experience living in Claremore and how an AI data center was going to change that fabric of him, of how he's lived his life for years on end. And he went 5 seconds over his speech, and for that the council had him arrested, like a clear violation of your First Amendment right. And these guys are just tired of hearing people talk at this point about how much they hate AI data centers, because guess what? They don't care about you. Like the fact of the matter is they don't give a shit. It's their objective is to make as much money off of this shit as possible before it blows up in everybody's faces. They don't care about the consequences that the average person has to burden, because that's who is taking the consequences at the end of the day. It's not these giant tech company CEOs that have to feel what their AI data centers are making. No, it's the average person like you and me that are struggling and have to feel what's going on with an AI data center. And this guy in specific was just voicing his opinion on that issue. They couldn't even give him the proper they couldn't even give him the proper care in due diligence of letting him go 5 seconds over his speech before like telling him to leave, and then they ended up arresting him anyway, which is just a clear violation of your First Amendment right.
2 weeks ago, we met Amber Robinson Rodriguez outside Claremore Police Department, where she was suffering from sticker shock.
1,750, I believe, was the final total.
That's how much the city of Claremore told her it would cost in order to produce the body cam footage from the arrest of Darren Blanchard back in February at a meeting about the Project Mustang data center. The arrest stunned many in the crowd, including Amber, who was there.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if I had to pay $1,700 for public records as well. Who the fuck put that price tag on there? It is public information. In my opinion, I shouldn't have to pay jack shit for public records, but if I have to pay anything, why the fuck would it be $1,700 for body cam footage against myself? Or in this case, she was getting it for somebody else. But like, point being, why would I have to pay that insane amount of money? $1,700 for anything is not chump change. I don't know who carries around $1,700 in their fucking pocket just as like hand waving money. But point being, nobody has that change on hand normally. That's like a down payment you put on a credit card. And from what I understand, she was able to get it reduced down to about $120, I think. But like $1,700 is insane for any sort of public record. I don't know how they got that number in the first place. That's just even more scumminess on the part of the council people trying to keep this footage from getting like into the public, because clearly they knew that this was going to be bad, and they don't give a shit about people. Like they just don't give a shit about people. They're just trying to save themselves at this point. But aside from that, you can hear the entire crowd erupting in frustration and madness over this guy being arrested, because it is insane that he went 5 seconds over his speech, and for that it constitutes him being arrested. That is a clear violation of his First Amendment right, which he has a title to in public domains like this. This is a public meeting. He has the ability to speak. I'm sorry that there's a time limit, but he went 5 seconds over his time limit. Point being, like this is honestly a disgrace and a mockery of the U.S. Constitution and people's rights. Like, it's insane.
About the records I asked for, are you lying now? And what's Bill's response? Y'all no longer work with terrorists? What's going on?
You can see that the crowd erupts from this position. Like, I don't it's kind of funny how everybody just starts crowding around him. Like, he needs 7,000 different officers in order to be properly arrested because he went 5 seconds over his allotted speech. But point being, he even points to the officers, letting them know that he's finished, and they still went to arrest him. He asked them if he could deliver his papers, which it was, I guess, I think it was some plan that he wanted to, or maybe some notes necessarily that he wanted to give to the council representatives just on how to like achieve better prosperity. I have no personal idea, but point being, the officers even let him walk those papers up to the desks before arresting him. Like, what was the whole point of this? It's insane how much of an abuse of power this is on the hands of the council people, and how this hasn't been talked about. Like, quite literally, I didn't hear about this until I saw a couple other videos yesterday about this. Like, this is brand new news, and this didn't happen like that recent. I mean, it happened somewhat recently, but it was weeks ago that this happened. It's just now getting out into mainstream media because they had tried so hard at suppressing this from being out. Like, for instance, with the $1,700 price tag to get the body cam footage. Who the fuck set that price? But point being, They don't care about you. That's the whole point of this video. I just want people to understand these representatives do not care about you, especially when it comes to matters on AI data centers. They would rather look for the profit that they're going to be making over the well-being of their constituents, the people that actually represented or elected them into office in the first place and wouldn't have any power if it weren't for them. Like, it is just a crazy betrayal that we're seeing, and it's honestly a flip flop in American values. But that's besides it. See ya.